Hello and welcome to the Unlock Your Game podcast presented by Shoot 360 Louisville. Coach Blake, we are super excited and just thrilled for episode 6 today. We have one of our best coming on, and we can't wait to get into some good talk.
Yeah, he's our third guest now. Coach Scotty's coming to join us, talk about his basketball background and his coaching today, along with Shoot 360. Can't wait to get into this interview. It was a great conversation and can't wait for our members to hear it.
100%. Let's get rolling. Shoot 360 family, we are so excited to have Coach Scotty today on the Unlock Your Game podcast. Coach Blake, we're just going to continue to add more and more Shoot 360 family members to the podcast, but we had to go with our loyal employee, been here with us since the start of Shoot 360, and we've been rocking away ever since.
Yeah, for sure. Both of you guys have been here ever since I've started. So it's been good to hear a little bit about how you got started here and learn a little bit more about how Scotty got his journey started here and a little bit about his basketball journey as well.
Sounds good, guys. Appreciate you having me on. Will, it's been a day one. I remember first day of training, we walked in. We didn't really talk too much, but connected a little bit. And then from there on out, it's just been a great ride.
100%, 100%. We've gone through a lot of different things here at 2360, and it's led us to this podcast and led us to, be in one of the best locations in the world. And we continue to strive for greatness here. And as Coach Blake and I talked last week, that's the goal through and through is to just be the best. And so that's what we're working towards, and having you all on, and hopefully some more coaches down the road, just continuing to let people get to know us even more, and hopefully continue to make us super successful. But Coach Scotty, we kind of want everyone to get to know you. I know a lot of people here already know you, know me, know Coach Blake, but there's more to our story. There's more to the basketball journey. And we just kind of want to ask you to get started today. What has been your basketball journey and kind of what's brought you here today?
For sure. Well, one thing, my basketball journey definitely didn't start as a player. Played in middle school, played in high school, off and on. And then really when I was in college, I had the opportunity to coach a fourth and fifth grade elementary team and didn't know much about coaching. I just wanted to go into it and help kids and really help them chase their dreams and just leave a positive impact. So season goes on, have a great season. I'm an assistant coach on a fourth and fifth grade team, right? We're playing Friday nights, not a lot to it. Didn't really know much about coaching, just wanted to get into it and give back to the community and just kind of impact the kids and really inspire them. So went through the whole season and I was just had an itch to coach more. So I got with the guy that I worked with who ran a sixth grade AAU program, and we just started talking more and more. And he was like, "Hey, you want your own team?" And I was like, "Man, I've never had my own team before, but sure, I'll give it a shot. Why not?" It's sixth grade. I had a lot of fifth graders going into sixth grade, so I knew that I could pull at least 4 or 5 kids into that team and then obviously go out and recruit some more. So year one, sixth grade AAU, our first tournament was actually in Michigan. I have no idea what to do. I have a buddy of mine who's my assistant coach, and we're playing like a top team in Michigan first game. And we're just both kind of like co-coaching together. It's more of not head coach and assistant. It's both of us kind of tackling at the same time. So we're standing there. I remember one point in time that we look at each other and we're just like, how do we break this 2-2-1 press? We are brand new coaches, have no idea what to do. Our kids are in sixth grade. We have some athletes, but just don't have a lot of organizational skills and everything. And after that one moment, I was like, you know what? I'm going to really study this game and become the best coach I can. Because when I saw the boys look at us like, what do we do? We're down probably 30 to 10, 30 to 15. They're pressing us 2-2-1, and we have no idea how to break it. We're just telling them, hey, get the ball in the middle. If you can dribble through a trap, dribble through a trap, get there, get there. So that's kind of the journey. Started off pretty rough. We're getting blown out in Michigan first tournament. I have no idea why we played in Michigan for our first basketball tournament. We probably should have been at Mid-America or a Monday, Friday night league here in Louisville. But that's how it all began. And then after that, I just really started coaching middle school at Cameron Middle School, high school at Atherton, JV, and then a varsity assistant. And then got with my good friend Cole Thompson, who ran Kentucky in hoops. And we decided to bring the AAU aspect to Kentucky in hoops. Already had the exposure platform. Already had a bunch of different camps. We're doing a lot of things with Kentucky in hoops, but really we're trying to decide what can we do to take it to the next level. So that kind of at that point in time, I had a good AAU background, had a good group of kids, coaches, and everything like that. So came together under Kentucky in the hoops and started first. The first year we only had 2 teams, so we just wanted to start off pretty easy, not a lot of organizational things, just kind of really get out there and play and really expand the brand and continue to grow. And now we are in year 3 with our AAU program on the Puma circuit. It's been a great experience, learned a ton along the way, really learning a lot of stuff in terms of how to manage a program. So you have your coaching side of it, and then you also have your managing side of it, to where you have to get those tournament fees, you have to get all the gear ordered, you have to work with your reps, everything like that really has helped me grow a ton as a coach and not only kind of set myself up for whatever comes next after all this.
100%. That's a really interesting perspective. I kind of share the same thing, just kind of thrown into coaching basketball. And my first ever head coaching game, we lost to Butler High School in a JV game by 65 points. That was my first head coaching game. And, when you kind of get that taste of, there's so much to learn, so much to do, you just run with it. And it's been a fun journey. Yeah, it's been a fun journey learning and coaching. And, we've had some good conversations along the way working here about coaching. And for you, kind of what is so how has training kind of intertwined into that coaching style?
For sure. So training was actually something that I never expected to get into. It was just kind of coaching. I was more of like wanted to sit down, watch film, and really kind of look through everything from a coaching perspective. Training is definitely more hands-on, to where you kind of, from coaching, you realize who goes to good trainers and who doesn't. Like, for instance, I know you guys have talked about a lot. You've had some trainers on here, setting down cones and just have them do crossovers and between the legs and all that isn't really training. Training is more of kind of, and so from a coaching perspective, you see that live game action. So how can I implement, as a trainer and as a coach, how can I implement live game stuff into training, where my guys know how to respond to a double team, know how to step through, know how to pivot, just stuff like that that is different than laying down 4 or 5 cones and saying, hey, do 4 crossovers and lay the ball up right-handed, left-handed.
100%. I mean, it's definitely a different world, jumping from coaching to working with kids one-on-one. But as far as like laying your foundation when you're doing your trainings here at Shoot 360 or working with your AAU guys, what's like your first thing that you're going to go to work on with a kid, or is it going to be a little bit more specific to what a kid might need?
So honestly, my first step is just really getting to know them, sitting down, talking to them, talking to the parents, asking questions like, what do you all really want to improve on? What's our number one goal? And then after that, really creating like a workout plan of, all right, here's your goal. Here's what it's going to take to get there. Really giving them homework, because we all know you can show up to a gym and train for 30 minutes, train for an hour. But if you're not putting in that work outside of that, it's going to take a long time to really show.
What do you think you value most as both a trainer and coach from a perspective right now? Has that changed at all since you started? Like, kind of what do you value most right now?
Yeah, I've been big on just the relationships, really building those relationships, because that's where you gain that trust. Loyalty goes a long way with a lot of these kids. So really trust, loyalty, and really just do whatever you can do to develop that relationship. And those relationships, they last far beyond basketball.
100%. We've talked a lot about vulnerable accountability on here, and that's a big step towards being able to hold your players and the kids that you're training accountable. When they might not be doing a rep 100%, or they might be kind of laying off in a game and you can see it on film, or maybe you're even talking about how they might talk to a coach or listen, and you feel like you got to sit them down and say, hey, they're doing what's best for you, and what you might be thinking is not entirely correct. I need you to focus and listen. And sometimes it's not a conversation that kids really take lightly, but you got to have it. And those relationships matter 100%, be able to have those conversations.
And going back on that, Will, too, is knowing your players, knowing the athletes you're working out, who's like, because you got to coach kids different. If I have Will right here, I have to coach him a lot different than I will coach Blake. It just depends on the personality and knowing what kid can take what in terms of coaching.
Yeah, and so you've been from middle school and through high school. What do you
Mhm.
like? Has your coaching style changed at all, or has you pretty much been like stick to exactly what you've been through?
It's definitely changed. When I first started coaching, super emotional, super energetic, just wanted to be the loudest guy in the gym. And I think that was a lot of when I started coaching, I was 19. So I think that was a lot of just trying to be that loudest voice, trying to be heard, really bring energy. So I've definitely toned it down a little bit in terms of that. Um, just kind of pick and choose when to bring the energy and also when to really lock in and make the right adjustments, make the right rotations and stuff like that.
Talking about like that high energy and that low
Hmm.
energy, I know kind of going back to the NBA finals this year, they were talking about Rick Carlisle, how he never showed like he wouldn't get super, super high emotion, he wouldn't
Hmm.
get low. And even when they were down by like 20 with 5 minutes left, 6 minutes left, he would never his emotion would never go above to where it should be. And that's why they felt his players were like, we always felt empowered because he wouldn't go out there and say, hey, we need this or you're all are done right here. He's like, he would make sure to empower his players and make sure that they kind of felt that same sentiment.
Hmm.
100%. I mean, when you kind of talk about those kind of coaches, and I know it might be a little extreme for some, but I feel like when you're coaching, you have to be you. You cannot pretend to be somebody else. Your players can smell it. Everybody can see it. And once they see you falter or change and you're just inconsistent, your team's gonna be inconsistent. Um, and you kind of look at guys like Jay Wright wins the national championship. Hands don't even go up. He turns and goes and shakes this guy's hand and just is saying, "What a season! Congratulations, you guys made it so far." And that's a guy who just won the national championship in college basketball. I mean, that's one of the rarest things you can do in sports. And then you look at guys like Shaka Smart, super energetic, always on their guys, all around the floor. But during games, they have independent breathing sessions in their timeouts where they're taking deep breaths, staying focused, worrying about everything else but what's going on during the game, and they're taking a step back. So it's being yourself and also understanding how to control the situation and not let emotions override you too. Shoot 360 family, we just want to reiterate to you all, we have our upcoming girls pro and advanced skills clinic with Coach Deja and Coach Jalen. No introduction needed. We've talked about this before, but we'll have the numbers up on the screen. We just really want you all to get signed up and really take advantage of this new opportunity.
Yeah, great thing about that too is, for one, we're all here to help this generation, and ref call's a bad call. You don't want these kids and parents seeing you blowing up on the referee over one bad call, because then that sets the tone later in the game. They miss a call. Your players think it's okay to go up on the ref and talk to them about it, argue about it, express their emotions, and that just kind of creates a negative environment all around entirely within the fans, the team, the coaches, and everything. So you really have to make sure you're acting in a professional way. Not saying you can't argue some calls here and there or show some energy and stuff like that, but just kind of pick and choose. Keep in mind that you do have these young athletes looking up to you. You never know who's in the stands watching as well. So I'm always big on that. I tell my guys, you never know who's watching. There could be a scout, there could be a college coach, there could be whoever it may be, your old high school coach in the stands. You never know who's watching. So always keep that in mind when you're out there during the warm ups, on the bench, in the game, in huddles, everything like that.
100%. And kind of go into your time with Kentucky in the hoops, and you're in your third year, and then you also have spent some time with high school
Mm-hmm.
team over at Atherton a little bit, and just kind of walk me through, because I feel like a lot of people know that there's a difference, but you never really talk about it. What's the difference between high school ball and then AAU ball?
There's a huge difference, honestly. There's a difference the way you play it, the way you coach it. I would say the speed of the game, for one. You look at AAU ball, it's a lot of get up and down and go. Typical AAU teams have anywhere from probably 4, 5, 6 sets. High school, you're looking at, I know you guys in North Oldham have over what, 40, 50 different sets and actions.
There's probably a lot of different things that we do and run. That's that's how we play. So
For sure. And that's how high school should be ran, just like a college system, because the idea is you want to get these kids ready to play college basketball. So high school, obviously you practice 4 or 5 days a week. AAU, my guys, we get together once every 2 3 weeks. So it's a lot of more show up and play. Obviously still play the right way, be ready to go, trust your teammates, build that team chemistry. Guys have group chats outside of basketball, get to know each other because obviously we're not in the gym practicing every day. They're not in the classrooms together. Most of them are coming from different areas throughout the state or the border states, Indiana, Tennessee, whatever that may be. So really just kind of trying to build that relationship in AAU to whereas in high school, you're going through those 2 a days, you're going through those 2 or 3 hour long practices, you're kind of building that chemistry and going through the adversity. Whereas AAU, you're just showing up, everybody's the top guy. Um, Relationships are huge on both, but obviously you have to kind of watch of how you translate that relationship in AAU compared to high school ball. High school ball, we all know that you have to really watch out of what you say and how you say it. AAU is a little more laid back in terms of you can really parents are more like push my child to to his maximum potential. With high school ball, you have a lot of administration watch and everything like that, so you have to really watch out how you go about what you say. It's not what you say; it's how you say it.
100%.
If you could implement one thing from AAU ball to high school ball and one thing from high school ball to AAU ball, what do you think that would be?
It's a great question, Blake. I think in terms of implementing one thing from AAU ball to high school ball, I would just say let's start first with high school. From high school ball to AAU ball. From high school ball, really implement that structure. I think a lot of AAU teams, organizations don't have that proper structure to where you have college coaches watching you in the summertime. They want to see structure. They want to see communication. They want to see it ran like a college system because obviously you're going to have kids into that system that you're recruiting. Can they fit into this system? Are they great kids? How are the parents? How are the families? So really take the organizational part of high school basketball and implement that more into AAU. I don't know whether if that's making your coaches go through more trainings, just different stuff that you can really implement that organization, that structure to make AAU, because everyone AAU has that kind of tone of it's just up and down. There's not a lot of coaching. Kids do what they want. No one's really held accountable. So really kind of change that precedent in terms of how it's run versus how it should be run.
Oh, for sure. Love it.
Yeah, I mean, just kind of going back to what we were talking about with AAU versus high school, and I want to see if you agree with me on this. As far as like parents and just having that conversation, you want what's best for your kid in high school and summer ball. High school is really, you want your team to win, you want to succeed, and summer ball, you kind of put that aside sometimes for some individual development. And for me, I would kind of just tell parents, be patient. But what would you tell parents when you see a kid who's come to you or just come to AAU for some individual development, a little bit more freedom? What would you tell a parent that's kind of like, I don't know, we're not really getting what we're looking for? Um, what can you kind of see moving forward? Do you see him kind of excelling here? Because we really want his role for high school ball to be much more. And, a lot of people feel like they get recruited more in high school. So it's like they want this to translate over. But as you're kind of saying, there's a huge difference in play and how that works. And you see a lot of kids that might succeed in the summer, but struggle in high school or completely opposite way.
That's a great question. I would say one, embrace the journey. You only get one time to play high school basketball or play AU basketball. So really remember why you play and what the end goal is. And like you said, made a great point. Be patient. Learn to adapt. Learn to adjust. I actually had one of my players text me a few weeks ago and was like, "Hey, coach, my high school coach is running this kind of style. It's completely different. What do you think I should do?" And I was like, "That's your high school coach, correct?" Just transferred into a brand new high school. And he was like, "Yes, sir." And I was like, "You need to play his system. that may be what you're not used to playing, but you have to adapt to his system. And that's, you want to get on the floor, you adapt to his system, you adjust to it, and perfect your role. Like, perfect your role, whatever your role may be, go 110%, perfect it, and be the best you can be in that role.
100%. And I just want all of our players who listen just to kind of hear that coming from two coaches. And, Coach Blake, I got a feeling Coach Blake's going to find his way into some coaching one day. But
hey, we've been doing some coach. It's just been on the baseball side. We just haven't been able to step into the basketball part. But we'll
get him on a bench here soon.
It's coming. Yeah, we will for sure. Perfect your role and then grow from your role. So if a coach is asking you to be the guy that dives on the floor, okay, dive on the floor. Now every time you're on the floor, you're the guy who gets every rebound, dives on the floor, and does all the dirty work for your team. Okay, now what? When I catch the ball and I'm wide open, instead of passing up a shot or trying to get something else for somebody, okay, I'm going to hit that shot. Okay, shoot that shot 500 times after practice. Okay, I've now hit that shot 500 times. I'm shooting 38% from three. I'm up 8%. They trust me to do this. Okay, now you catch that shot, you shot fake, you rip, and you go. Okay, work on that 500 times every time after practice. Grow from your role. Don't just accept it. That's not what a coach wants. A coach wants you to take that role and then take it as a personal practice and or personal goal to make that role even more than what it is and grow out of it. No one's ever going to complain that they have 5 guys on the floor who can shoot it, put it on the floor, play defense, rebound, run all the plays and sets to perfection, run your underneath out of bounds, make adjustments without a coach on. No coach is ever going to complain. I don't think you would complain, Coach Scotty. I'm not complaining if I had 5 kids who could do that on the floor at all times. But you do start with a role. You do start with a foundation. But your willingness to grow and get better through it, that doesn't mean go outside of it, but you grow through it, and you're going to find out that you're going to become the player that you always wanted to be regardless.
For sure. And going back on that too is you have to look at what's your end goal. When you talked about really growing and embracing that role, is that role to get to college? Is that role to have a great high school career? And I think it's super important to really set that tone of what's your goal? Because when you talk about goals, then you can really set roles in place to help them fulfill that goal and meet that goal. If your role is to be a 4-year player on the team, then that's your role, be a 4-year player. But if your role is to really level up year by year, like you said, grow, perfect that role, and then grow from that role. And then sky's the limit from there.
We know it's important to really get into a system that you're not really comfortable with. How important do you think the film study is to that as well, to really prepping before you've gotten to that system? How much is a key to the film study?
Now, I think film honestly tells everything and it shows everything. You can be in a huddle and tell a kid, hey, you passed up this shot, shoot the next one. Or, hey, you drove, defense collapsed, you're supposed to make that right read and kick it out. You can tell kids that 1,000 times. We all do as coaches. But until you show them and give them that visual in front of their teammates, call them out. Show them, hey, look, so-and-so is wide open. You've drove 4 or 5 times, defense collapsed, you're just throwing stuff up here and there in the lane. Kick it out. Make the extra pass. Make the one more pass. So gives a great visual and also holds them accountable rather than just saying, hey, you turn the ball over 5 times. Let me show you where you turn the ball over and how you turn the ball over and what to do next time. Just a visual helps a lot more than these athletes hearing from coaches, don't do this, you could have done this better. Just kind of holds them more accountable and really helps them understand what to do next time.
For sure.
And just kind of bring this back into Shoot 360 and, everything that we've just talked about. And, we can reiterate this over and over again every time that we come on, how amazing Shoot 360 Louisville is and what it does for our athletes and for us as coaches even. But Coach Scotty, what can you kind of get after bringing all that back in? What can Shoot 360 do for you?
I mean, it's already done so much, honestly. I mean, Dean, Patience, and Peyton have just given me an opportunity to elevate as a person, really get out of my comfort zone, meet new people, build new relationships, and just continue to take steps in this journey. I mean, people walk in this door every day, and it's all positivity, positivity, positivity. You rarely hear a negative thing about Shoot 360 Louisville. So that's a big thing, is just kind of really keeping on what we're doing right now and growing every single day. Whether that's, I set something with most of our skill coaches, like a summer development plan. How can we get these kids that come in, they're shy kids, how can we keep helping them advance to their game? Whether it's, some kids just want to come in and get in shape. Some kids want to come in and perfect their jump shot. Some want to get a better handle. Just really continuing to grow every single day. Because us as coaches, we take a day off, the kids notice that, they see that. So just every day we come in to really continue to grow and make an impact.
And as the director of player development, and we talked about our summer plan, but what do you kind of set for the focus for our coaches and the gym, just to help our players and our athletes get better?
I would say, if I had to pinpoint one word, it'd be accountability. To really hold yourself accountable as coaches and hold these athletes accountable as players. Some of that may be going in there and getting them outside their comfort zone, joking around a little bit. Some of them may be a little more serious in terms of, hey, you have to make 5 shots from here, 5 shots from here. Just kind of give them a routine to push them, because we know a lot of athletes come in here and they'll get the 300 shots up, but they don't leave in a sweat. To really kind of push them to work on other things outside of just catching and shooting.
100%, Coach Blake. Those intentional workouts. I mean,
Yes,
we
sir.
continue to reiterate it over and over again. But Coach Scotty, it has been an absolute pleasure having you on today. We've had a blast, and I hope that this will kind of open the eyes of the coaching realm mixed in with the personal training as well. But we like to leave our athletes with a challenge question each week. Is there a specific question or a challenge that you want to leave for our athletes before we go?
For sure. I would challenge them to watch someone that doesn't play their position. If you're a point guard, watch a power forward, watch a center. Go on YouTube. I know it's not basketball season. Go on YouTube. Watch someone who doesn't play your position and learn from them.
Coach Blake, that might be the best question we've had. That was pretty good. I think we're just going to let that be the question and the challenge that we have for this whole entire podcast. Well, Coach Scotty, we really appreciate you having you on. That's a great challenge question, and we can't wait to get episode 6 out and let everybody see what we're doing here at Shoot 360 and how we can continue to grow, and hopefully they can continue to learn and kind of understand what the coach's perspective looks like, and we just continue to make our members better.
Without a doubt. Appreciate you guys having me on. And Coach Blake, we're going to get you on a bench here soon.
Here we go. I'm looking forward to it. We're almost there. Season's almost here.